My husband and I had to give our first 3-star review to one of our Airbnb guests, and it sucks. We have worked really hard to try to make our short-term rental property a place where people want to come and it feels cozy and sweet and almost like your own personal home. But one of the things that we are learning is that there are going to be guests that you have that don't always have that same feeling or connection to your home as you do. And it is never our intention to give anybody less than 5 stars. But unfortunately for this guest, there were just too many things that happened during their 30-day stay that made us ultimately decide that they could not receive anything more than 3 stars. So today we're gonna have a little story time and I'm gonna fill you in on everything that happened over this guest's 30-day stay and what ultimately led us to giving this guest a 3-star review. And if we haven't met yet, hi, my name is Stacey Russell, your Northwest Houston realtor, educating buyers, sellers, and investors on all things real estate. And not only am I a realtor, but I'm also the owner of a short-term rental property called The Retreat at Freeport in Freeport, Texas. My husband and I have owned this short-term rental property since June of 2022, and we have definitely been learning a lot along the way. And I love to create these videos to help people understand what it's like to be a short-term rental host and everything that you need to expect if you decide that this is what you want to do. And if you want more information on how my husband and I became real estate investors and started our short-term rental property, you can check out this video right here. All right, so we're just gonna jump straight into it. When we originally received our booking request from this particular guest, it was for a 10-day stay. This guest seemed to have great communication skills because right after this guest got approved for their stay, they sent us a message on the Airbnb platform to let us know that they had reserved our home and that they were awaiting check-in instructions. So after the first message, we had a little bit of communication back and forth where I had sent this guest check-in instructions. This guest had told us that they were excited to come and stay in the home, and it seemed like everything was great from the very beginning. So the day before their 10-day stay was about to end, I got a message from this guest saying that they would like to extend for another 10 days. So during the next 10 days, there just really wasn't a ton of communication on either one of our parts, which is really not a red flag. My husband and I are very big on letting our guests enjoy their time. We don't want to really bother them. Every now and then we'll check in here and there, but typically if they are not coming to us, we are not disturbing them. And we were thrilled when this guest reached out to us and told us that they would like to extend for another 10 days. So we sent the trip alteration request, and during that time I had actually gotten a text message from our cleaner saying that she would like to go and pick up her vacuum cleaner because she had another job that she had to go to. So I messaged the primary contact on Airbnb and let this person know that our cleaner would be stopping by. I gave them a time frame and let them know that if they were not going to be there, if they could please leave the key in the lockbox for our cleaner to be able to access the home. I also told our guest that our cleaner was going to restock toilet paper and paper towels and anything else they needed, since we had only planned for them to be there for 10 days and they had extended to now 30 days. And it was at this point in time where I did get confirmation from our guests that they were more than happy to have our cleaner come and pick up the vacuum and that they would make arrangements for her to be able to access the property. But I also did get some information from this guest that one of our toilets had been leaking. Now, of course, I'm very happy anytime somebody decides to report this information to me, but I was a little bit curious to know how long the toilet had been leaking for, because this was the first time that I had ever heard about it. And I could be looking too much into it, but personally, I just had a weird feeling that the only reason this guest was telling me that the toilet was leaking at this point in time is because our cleaner was going to be coming over and probably giving us some information of what the house looked like and if there was any damage to it. But I just did my best with the information that I had, and I let the guest know that I was going to be calling a plumber so that they could come out and address the leak in the toilet. So the next day I called the plumber, and because our rental property is in a small town, the plumber was actually able to come out that same day. So I communicated with the primary guest on Airbnb to let them know, hey, this is the window of time where the plumber would be coming out. They do need to have access to the property, so could you leave the key in the lockbox? And all day long, I heard nothing back. I even messaged a second time right before the plumber was supposed to come out and did not hear anything. However, I did get a message the next morning from the primary contact letting me know that the plumber was able to stop by and the leak had been fixed. So these guests had been in our property for 30 days and we kept thinking that they were going to extend for another time, but we never got a request for them to extend their trip. So we do what we normally do, which is send checkout instructions. And these checkout instructions are very clear, but also we are really big on making sure that our guests do not have to do a whole lot. We have a cleaner for a reason, so there's no reason why our guests should be stripping the beds or doing any laundry or doing any dishes. The only thing that we ask them to do is just take the trash out so that we don't get any bugs in the house, and then to just make sure that all of the doors and the windows have been closed and are locked, as well as to replace the key back into the lockbox. So I have to sidebar the story to just let you know that we have such an amazing cleaner. She has been a godsend. We appreciate her, and it has been the best money that we ever spent, okay? So one of the big things that she does for us is she takes pictures before and after she cleans. And this really helps us understand not only that she's doing a great job, but how our guests left our home. Our cleaner did say that it was pretty dirty. There were some stains on sheets and bedding that were not removable. There was also a glass that was cracked, but we can forgive that because they had been there for 30 days and things happen. And then I thought it was just a little bit strange that our cleaner reported that a ceramic fish that we have as decor in the kitchen was just gone. I don't know if the fish got broken. I don't know if they took the fish. We have no idea where the fish went, but the fish is no longer in our house. So all of those things are basic wear and tear that we expect from most of our guests. And typically we would be able to move past those things and still give our guest a 5-star review. However, I noticed that there were a couple of windows in our home that were open. And I didn't know if these windows were left open by the guests or if our cleaner opened them while she was cleaning the home. So I just asked our cleaner, and our cleaner confirmed that the windows had been open when she got there. So this means that our guests just completely ignored our checkout procedures and did not properly secure our property. All of those things were just something that I continued to think about, and the more that I thought about them, the more upset I got, and I just felt very disrespected by this particular guest, and so I felt like it was more than fair to give this guest 3 stars. So if you're looking to become a short-term rental host, I hope that this video did not deter you. That's definitely not my intention. But my whole goal in making these videos is to help you understand the things that my husband and I are learning as we go, so that you can make the best decision for you before you get into short-term rental hosting. And as you go, you are going to learn what's normal and what is excessive. And unfortunately, this guest just had some excessive things that happened during their 30-day stay, to where we felt like we needed to give them less than 5 stars. Let me know what questions you have, and if you feel like I was justified in giving this guest a 3-star review. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.